Hey gang, Sean from The Good Dog. Beautiful day here in Los Angeles, Chatsworth, California, and November, and it's t-shirt weather here, right? Sorry guys, anybody who's in parka weather. Anyways, let's chat about this. They're not all abused. Guys, they're just not all abused. There's just not that many bad people out there that all of the dogs that are coming through that we see and all the other trainers I know and all the other people I see post, that all these dogs are abused. It's just not the case. They're just not abused. What's happened for most dogs is that they've either been removed from their mom too early, they haven't been exposed to certain stimuli or have enough experiences early on, or they're genetically predisposed to being nervous, insecure, fearful. They're the dogs that, you can see a litter of 8 dogs and you can see within the same exact bloodlines, you can see completely different personalities and temperaments within that litter. You can see dogs that are confident and strong, and you can see dogs at a young age when no abuse has happened, definitely no abuse has happened, and you can see another dog within that same litter that's kind of nervous, insecure, a mess, something like that, more fearful, more worried, more tentative about things. You can see another dog like, right? Nothing's transpired, nothing's changed for those dogs within that litter except genetic stuff. That's the only difference. So I really want to hammer this home, this whole kind of abuse thing with everybody attaching stories to their dogs, especially stories that they don't know. I know you guys have heard me talk about this ad nauseum, but like it still needs to be talked about more because it hamstrings people, and then that of course hamstrings their dogs from progressing. So if we get caught up in stories of our dogs having these horrible pasts, or at least we think they've had these horrible pasts, and we create the stories attached to them, then what happens is we typically feel guilty, feel sad, feel bad. We don't want to hold our dogs accountable. We don't want to share discipline. We don't want to share structure. We don't want to share rules. We certainly don't want to share accountability, because dogs that have had sad, broken-hearted, abused doggy childhoods are dogs that are typically we're not going to feel comfortable sharing that stuff with, right? We're going to want to share the soft stuff, share the babying, share the coddling, share the, I see the inner you and I know that you're broken and I'm going to like nurture that broken thing. No, don't nurture the broken thing, please. Nurture the other stuff and lift them up out of the broken stuff. Don't cater, don't nurture to the broken stuff. Guys, I'm just telling you, if you can get this through your heads, that the majority of dogs out there aren't abused, that this whole thing, whether it's rescues or shelters or just stories you've made up yourself, it's just not the case. There's not that volume of dogs and that volume of evil, nasty people walking around abusing dogs. Yes, abuse happens. Legitimate, bona fide, nasty, horrible abuse happens. But it's far more rare than what anybody believes or what anybody wants to believe when it comes to their own dog, if their dog's got weird stuff. People don't want to attach reality to the story. Reality being like, oh, maybe there's a genetic predisposition to being insecure, or maybe my dog didn't get exposed to a lot of stuff early on, or whatever it is. There's no juice behind that story. As human beings, I think we naturally gravitate towards stories that have more emotional pull to them, and I don't think that has as much emotional pull, and I don't think it garners us as much like internal attention and affection for ourselves, or outward attention and affection for what we've done, what we've rescued, how we've saved this abused dog, on and on and on. So this isn't a slam on anybody, but it's really about checking in and making sure that you guys realize this abuse stuff is just not happening on the level that you guys are thinking it's happening on. It's very, very rare. It's far more, and I know people are going to take exception with that, but in the volume of dogs out there, it's very rare, right? If you were to look at the complete number of dogs in the population, the amount of abuse is very rare. So if you guys stay attached to that story, to that belief that your dog has been abused and that he's got this horrific past, you're gonna have the most incredibly difficult time helping your dog live a great future. You're gonna stay stuck, your dog's gonna stay stuck, you're gonna not share the right stuff with them because of that stuff that you're telling yourself over and over again that's causing your heart to break or feel sad or feel bad for your dog. You just won't give them what they need. What your dog needs is strength and guidance and leadership and accountability and structure and all that stuff so it can do better. And if your dog's had a terrible past, say he has had a terrible past, they need it even more. Say your dog is genetically predisposed to being nervous, they need it even more. Or if your dog hasn't experience life at an early stage when they need to see that stuff. They need that stuff from you even more, the good stuff, not the soft stuff. So guys, let's just like move away from this abuse stuff. Let's just see the dog in front of us, and let's just do our very best by the dog in front of us, how they are today. Let's just move forward. Let's just jettison, let's let go of all that stuff, all that crap about stories, especially stories we don't know, and stories that are made up or shared by, you know, people that rescues or that don't know, you know, dogs with stories. It's like the oldest marketing trick in the book. Dogs with stories are going to connect to people in a different way than dogs without stories. So that's something really important to think about, why there might be so many stories attached to so many dogs in order to connect, touch this whole thing right here and get you to take a dog. So, and that's no slam on rescues. I'm just saying that I know that that stuff goes on. There's plenty of rescues that don't do that stuff, but there's a lot of storytelling going on, and a lot of storytelling about situations that people don't even know what the reality